Today's date is May 25th, Friday, 2012, and the time is 10:30 a.m. in the morning. Now, what I'm going to do, since the sensitization tactics are a teeny bit harder to prove because of the way they mimic normal physical gestures, I've already made numerous YouTube videos in reference to the physical gestures that they sensitize targets of organized stalking to. Putting your hands to your face like this, going like this, okay? The finger is what they got, is what they repeat along my path. Putting the finger to the mouth, to the side of the head, okay? To the side of the mouth like that, or going like that, or going like that. Okay, the whole goal is to sensitize the target to non-stop repetition of physical gestures. This in turn makes the target feel stalked, and as a result of them making them feel stalked, they feel harassed concerning it. Go to Google and YouTube and type in organized stalking or gang stalking to sensitization. Thoroughly review the YouTube videos in reference to methods and tactics. Okay, and make sure you look at all the YouTube videos that are on the sidebar, and you'll come to understand that these are the factual realities in reference to what they sensitize targets to. Also, Google organized stalking, hands to face, hands to mouth, hands to nose, patting the top of the head. Now, what I want you to understand is this, is that these individuals, I'm being subjected to these physical gestures along all my routes, including the business community, and that's achieved through the community notification that it's attached to organized stalking expeditions. Go to Google and YouTube and type in organized stalking or gang stalking to community notifications. Community notifications are flat out mentioned in the Informer report, Leslie Williams organized stalking YouTube videos that you can scrutinize online, and it literally shows me holding up a book, Bridging the Gap, that flat out says it right on the cover, gang stalking and community notifications. And what they do is use this law enforcement tool to notify the community about a person, and they combine the notification with a slander campaign in order to get people in the community to harass a target through these sensitization means along their routes, including at businesses, in order to make a target feel harassed, because this is not the only thing that occurs towards a target. Now, so what I'm going to do, since it's hard for anybody to prove that these, because what they do is sensitize targets to mimic normal physical gestures that everybody does. Okay, that way they can use the excuse of plausible deniability and then claim the target's crazy as a result of what they're identifying and what they know to be the truth in reference to how these physical gestures are deliberately being subjected towards them along all of their routes, including the business community, universities, public libraries, and along their transportation routes, including walking. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start predicting. Look at where I'm at right now. Okay, I'm at a totally different location in reference to not being at SDSU, not being at UCSD, not being at any public library or business. Okay, now if I'm at a totally different location and the time right now is exactly, shoot, I turned off my phone. It'll take a second for it to come back on. The point I'm trying to make is this, is that, well, you've already seen what time it is in reference to the beginning of this video, and you see that I'm in a totally different location. Okay, so the time I get over to SDSU today, and by the time I get a computer that's going to be available to me, they're going to have individuals that are going to come and sit across from me or next to me, and they're going to engage in these kind of physical gestures. Going like this, going like this, or going like this, or going like this, going like this, or touching their nose, or holding their hands to their face like this, or even picking their nose. Understand this and be clear. I am making this prediction at 10:34 at a totally separate location that I'm going to be subjected to this. The other day when I was over at UCSD, I had a library personnel come in and was going like this throughout the whole time. He was sitting right across from me throughout the whole time that I was there. They're also trying to sensitize me to clearing their nose, going like this, and making specific types of coughing. Understand this. I did not develop these sensitization tactics. These are sensitization tactics that can be clearly found by Googling them and YouTubing them and cross-referencing them to organized stalking. And then you can observe the amount of Google-generated responses in reference to you typing in these descriptions in reference to their tactics. coughing, putting your hands to your face, hands to your nose. And when you observe the amount of Google-generated responses, you will clearly be able to see that these expeditions are factual realities in reference to that the fact that they use these type of tactics and methods. Then you can cross-reference them to the fact that you can go to Google and type in organized stalking in universities. Organized stalking universities. No and in between. Just organized stalking universities, and you'll get almost 8 million responses. I'm not 8 million people, okay? I have not written 8 million blogs. I am only one person with one name. So if you got over 8 million Google-generated responses in reference to typing in organized stalking universities, you can come to understand the factual realities that there are a lot more people complaining about these expeditions on university campuses than just one person, me, Leslie Williams. I expose these crimes because of the extreme criminality that is attached to them, because physical gestures and direct conversation tactics are not the only thing that is happening to us targets. They're flat out literally tearing down our personal lives just in order to be able to steer us into an environment for sexual exploitation, financial exploitation, and insurance exploitation, and property exploitation. It's about racketeering and human sexual servitude rings, and they're directly connected to organized crime that is in the system that allows it, protects it, yes, and aids in abet and boxing the target in syndicated organized crime control, which means syndicated organized crime owned group homes, institutions, medical facilities, and this is where they take over the legal custody of the target's finances, exploit their Medicare, and then attempt to entrain them for prostitution into sexual servitude rings. Social services plays a huge role in this, as well as county mental health. Yes. Sylvia Morales is another target in San Diego. There's at least 3 or 4 other targets in San Diego that I go to YouTube and type in Norm, Norm, Wicks. Him and his son Tracy are targeted. I think they recently just left San Diego, but they went through, I think, 3 years of trying to survive here in San Diego as a result of the San Diego police directly being involved in their expedition. Yes. Thoroughly thoroughly go to their YouTube channel and thoroughly scrutinize how they're being harassed and how the San Diego police are working in concert with people that are harassing them. Yeah, covertly and overtly. Yeah, they're both on disability. They go after single women, single mothers, people on disability, the elderly. They're into property co-opting, land co-opting, mortgage co-opting, trust fund liquidation, identity theft, human sexual servitude rings, human trafficking, land co-opting, everything that you can think of. Understand this and be clear. Prosecutors' offices are involved in these expeditions, police officers, district attorneys' offices, and you would not believe what I know, and they know that I'm spilling the beans about it. Okay? And so what they're going to do is they're going to, and let me help you understand something very clearly. The universities that are involved in these expeditions not only allow them, but they literally get staff, students, and campus safety on board in these expeditions. Because think about it, what does campus safety really do for a university? They are literally employed by the university, which means their job is to protect the university. Yes, because of the enrollment dollars that are generated as a result of each student going. So if you honestly think that these universities wanted to get out, that they have organized stalking expeditions going on their campus, that even students are being used to harass a target through these sensitization tactics, because they're lied to. Yeah. Do you really honestly think that the university wants it known that students are being used to harass an innocent person to break them down for eventual human trafficking, sexual servitude rings? And basically, since electronic harassment and remote neural monitoring is used in these expeditions, you better believe in a heartbeat that campus safety will aid and abet in these expeditions, and they will aid and abet also in the results of street theaters that are brought about against the target at these institutions. In order to be able to ban a target from these institutions, especially a target who's whistleblowing like me, and to discredit a target based on the fact that the target is telling the truth about what's going on. Look at what happened with the Penn State fiasco. If you thoroughly review that, you will see how the police were on board with that, how campus safety protected it. Yes, you have to do your thorough investigative research to scrutinize the truth about what really happened at Penn State. Also go to YouTube and Google and type in Laura Dickerson, Eastern University, how they covered up that murder and rape until they couldn't cover it up no more, and then the type of excuses they used to defend how it was covered up. Understand this and be clear. I'm not a troublemaker at all. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't sleep around. I don't engage in any criminal activity whatsoever. I don't steal. I'm a Christian woman. This happened to me. This open campaign started towards me when I was a college student. Yeah. My name is Leslie Williams. So this is what I'm going to do is I'm predicting right now when I go to on any date forward from this date and time forward, when I go to any university campus and I have individuals sitting around me, including staff, library staff, teachers, anybody that is affiliated with the university as far as students or teachers or staff of any kind engaging in these behaviors around me, and I take a picture of them, think about it. I'm predicting that they're going to do it now. So what's the likelihood of me being in an environment that I go into and then people come in or are already there because they work there, okay? And then they're doing this or this or this or this. They're going to say, well, what is she talking about? These are just normal physical gestures, because this is the reason why they sensitize targets to normal physical gestures, so they can then turn around and apply plausible deniability as their excuse and then call the target crazy. My name is Leslie Williams. These types of physical gestures might be normal, but when you see the amount of frequency of the amount of people that think about it, if I go into a university and I'm just sitting there and somebody comes and sits down and goes like this or this, what's the likelihood of that really occurring after I predict it? Okay? When you take 10 people, okay, and you have them sit next to me, what's the likelihood of them really doing this? Especially if I get all 10 of them. My name is Leslie Williams, San Diego, California.